Hi everybody, it's Mr. Gray here. Thank you again for another great week of school. This week, as usual, we have so much going on. I have a lot of announcements for you. As you know, a week from Saturday on the 28th, we're all meeting to go see The Wild Robot if you can make it. Just remember, you're in charge of getting students there and back, and I will just happen to be there at the same time. But I'm very excited to see the movie. I know lots of sixth graders are going to, so it should be really fun. There's a link on the updates page where you can get tickets for that. I sent out a flyer to all the girls in class, but there is a girls talk night, which is October 3rd from 5:30 to 7. You have to RSVP to that. There's a link on the updates page. There will be a boys' night later in the year. We're having a writing celebration next Friday from 10 to 10:45 a.m. So you'll be at a table, parents, with your student and some other students and maybe some of their parents. And the kids will go around and they will read their narrative. And you'll be able to ask questions about it and talk about some of the things they worked on through the process. We'll be in the NPR, which will be very exciting. We get to have an event in our brand new NPR, so that should be really fun. If you can go, please RSVP. I know many of you already did. We're going to have lots of parents there. It's going to be a really fun time. As a reminder, we'll try to get started pretty close to 10 in the morning, but you should get there a few minutes early because you have to check in at the office. So you have to go to the front office, check in, tell them that you're there. You get a little sticker. I will tell them that you're coming, so the process should be pretty quick, but that has to happen before. So get there, like a few minutes early and know that lots of parents are coming too. So maybe 5 or 10 till get there. I put on the email and the updates page a link to our first field trip. The OCC Planetarium is going to be October 30th. And so you have to fill out the permission slip so your student can go. It is a highlight field trip of the year. It was fantastic last year. You get to actually talk to one of the people that work there. There's a big presentation where you fly through the solar system. Fantastic. And then along with that, as I mentioned at Back to School Night, one of the things that allows us to do these field trips is your donation. So the cost, per student for all of the field trips this year, except for bowling, which we're still working on, is $45. So you can start sending that in. You can send it in as cash or a check made out to Santiago Hills, and just send it with your student, and then I keep track and I check you off the list so I know that you paid. But that is a huge help and allows us to do that throughout the year, and that should be a really fun field trip on October 30th. So fill out the permission slip for that, and then send in your donation if you can. Okay, conference signups. I put a link in the email as well as the updates page. Conference week is October 7th through 11th. I believe. 7th through 11th. And then that Tuesday, the 8th, is off of school. So there are kind of conferences all day. I also have conferences available on Saturday, October 5th and Saturday, October 12th. So there are options, hopefully, that you can make it at some point through there. Okay, so you can sign up there. Let me know if you have any questions. The conferences are 30-minute time blocks, but I don't expect them to take that long. I just want to make sure I have some transition time between. Should be about 20 minutes, and we'll be kind of setting goals for the year and maybe talking a little bit about what's been happening so far, but ultimately we're trying to set goals for the year is the big idea for that. And if you have something you want to address, before the conference, if you say this is something I really want to talk about, go ahead and either put that in the sign up notes or send me an email ahead of time, and that way I'm a little more prepared for that. Picture day is Wednesday, October 16th. So that is coming up. I don't know what time we're doing it yet, and that might affect how your students dress for the day, but as soon as I know, I'll let you know. On to all of our academic work. Believe it or not, we have other things to do other than the things I just mentioned. So next week, we're going to finish up with our novel study of Home of the Brave. The kids have finished the book already as I record this on Thursday morning, but we're going to do a little bit of work to wrap up the book and take all these different ideas we've been talking about and putting them together. They're going to make a reader's notebook page. And so that will be a fun thing to do. It is a fantastic book. If you haven't asked your students about it, please do. And it is hugely rich in its content. I mean, there's so much going on. There's depth of characters. And so you can really ask probing questions to your students about the book. And then also we're going to get started on our next unit. Our first really big reading unit of the year is all about theme. We're making a big transition in reading this year. All of your students know how to read, so we don't need to We don't need to like pretend that I'm asking, can you read? Can you do this? Can you tell me a quick summary? We're going to work on summaries, but we know your kids can read. So we're moving into more like scholarship and analysis of stories. And that's going to be a transition for some students who read as fast as possible for entertainment. And so we're going to be working on that a lot this year, but this first reading unit is all about theme. And so we'll start that next week. The kids will set some goals. We'll start to talk about developing ideas. So I'm not just noticing that a character is angry or mean. Now I need to kind of develop in a bigger idea about that character. Maybe ask, why is that character angry or mean? And that's a big shift too. And also we're going to look at reading books differently than we did before. I'll read out loud. I'll continue The Miraculous Journey of Edward Tulane. Another fantastic book. The kids are really enjoying that. A lot of depth in that book too. In writing, the kids will continue writing true stories based on the small moments in their lives. That's what you're going to be hearing on Friday. So we'll take just a couple days next week. We're going to add in a flashback or a flash forward to help bring out the deeper meaning of the story. That's something you're going to be looking for when you're hearing the story, and talking about how to end stories. And then we'll spend the next couple of days publishing. And then on Friday, we'll be ready to have some stories read out loud to people, which would be fantastic. In math next week, we're going to work again on our first official unit. It's called Operations and Algebraic Thinking. We're going to review order of operations, and the kids are going to actually make a piece of artwork based on order of operations. And then also we'll take a look at creating expressions based on real world situations. We started this week and we'll continue some Continental Mathematics League practice. The kids will have practice in class, and they also have a self-paced document they can practice at home sometimes too. For social studies, the kids are finishing up the totem poles they are making, as well as the folk tales they are writing. So we finished our unit and took a test on our first chapter, which was the Native American experience before Christopher Columbus and what things were like, especially in North America at that time. We're taking some extra time to go a little bit deeper on culture and talk about totem poles specifically, representing the customs and rituals and traditions of Native American tribes, as well as the kids are writing a folktale based on the elements of folktales that we read. The kids will have Science Lab with Mr. Marco. We will have a grammar test on Thursday next week, and we'll have to do with commas, conjunctions, punctuation, and underlining, which are things we have studied up to this point. We'll have buddies next week. We're working on the second phase, or the third phase of our All Apis project next week, where the 6th graders are actually presenting to the 4th and 5th graders. And then we might have some time for a digital citizenship lesson. I'm not sure yet, but that'll be in their topic we continue next week. Okay. Thank you very much. That was a lot of information. Sign up for conferences, send in field trip donation, and sign up for the planetarium field trip. Those links are on the email that I sent and the updates page. Have a fantastic weekend. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.